Hello and welcome back to Worthing CC's YouTube channel. Today's game is Worthing First 11 versus Haywards Heath First 11 in Division 2 of the Sussex Cricket League. Haywards Heath won the toss and chose to bat on again a lovely Saturday. Again, the weather's good, and as you can see, Giorgio Regali opening the bowling back after missing last week's first Red Ball game at St James. Great to have him back. He's our premier fast bowler from Italy that we're hoping to play more. Big six by Mendes down the ground off Robson Piper, who was the pick of the bowlers last week with 4 for, but just not finding his length this time, bowling up the hill and a 6 and a 4 early on. But Regali strikes early, taking the first wicket adjudged LBW with Moore playing across the line. 29 for 1 off 7 overs. In an even first 10. Worthing sitting top of the table at the moment. Haywards Heath sitting mid-table. As Rebbets comes on to bowl, unfortunately straying down the leg side early on in his spell. Clip down to fine leg. As you can tell, just over mid-off there. The outfield much faster than those first few weeks. And the ball running away much quicker to the boundary. There, just a little bit short and wide. Chopped down through third man. Regali picks up an important second with an absolute snorter though. Haywards Heath overseas, gloving one through to Alex Watkins, our keeper. An important second wicket there. He's been in the runs quite a lot early this season. 50 comes up in the 12th over. Currently moving at sort of 4 and over. Regali really holding that together as Piper and Rebbets being a tad expensive early on up the hill. One more going for 4 with a little under edge there past the keeper. After a long spell of Regali, Dunn brings himself on. Skipper looking to break this partnership. Mendes going through to his what should be a well-made 50. Ben Matthew as well started brightly. A couple of early 4s through the offside with over-pitch deliveries. Horrible misfield on camera, unfortunately, for Gav at mid-off. Doesn't catch too many misfields. He's the unlucky person to be caught there. As the field moves back into the middle overs, Mendes moves through to a well-made 50. Decent strike rate as well. Plenty of boundaries on this fast, decent outfield and good wicket. Swift though getting Mendes with the classic take your helmet off and the following ball get out. Cricket has those strange ways of coming back to haunt you, and that was one of them. Nice clip off the legs by the Haywards Heath captain though, Smith. Getting off the mark with a decent boundary through mid-wicket. Through the middle overs, there were just sort of regular boundaries. As you can see, it sort of moved along at 4 runs and over. That typically was 4 dots, a boundary and a 1, sort of most overs. But as you can see there, another one just beating the infield. And as soon as it beats the infield here, it's 4 runs. So on a decent wicket, we knew that probably 250 was going to be about par. But full toss there by Harry Merritt-Bland was put away by Matthew, and again looks towards that 50. Hitting through the line, mid-off, mid-on up at this stage, that's gone straight back past them for 4. As Ben Matthew ticks to 50 with 1 through third man. Change of bowling at the C end, at pavilion end. Saw the introduction of Regali back into the attack. Really at 150 for 3. We were looking for damage limitation in the last 17, 18 overs, ensuring that they didn't get up past that 250 to 300 mark. Dino's the unfortunate man there as well to be caught on camera with the misfield at mid-on. I will say that the hard bobbly outfield doesn't do us too much justice, but the two that you've seen today probably should be stopped. 100 partnership for these two, brought up with a pull out to the boundary. But a clean bowled by Harry, who brings himself back on to try and slow the scoring with some slower bowling. Picks up Matthew for a really well made 80. 200 comes up in the 42nd over. As you can see, the run rate is increased past that 4.5 per over. Before Dunn takes another wicket. Caught by Rebbitts at mid-wicket, just running down, miscued. Worthing had a really strong last 15 overs here. Regali doing all of the work up the hill without much reward in terms of wickets, but he really stopped the runs really, and having done at the other end, picking up the wickets when they felt like they weren't scoring many runs off Regali, really helped pin back Haywards Heath, that were looking for, I think, a much bigger score when they were sort of 150. They were 190 for 3, so another wicket goes down as Dunn picks up his 4th, as they look to increase the run rate in these last 3 overs. Very pleasing last 15, as I said. And Giorgio's last ball of his spell, a 9-over spell at the back end. Really unfortunate to go for 4. But Dunn picks up his fifer, and a really well-deserved fifer. An excellent second spell there. And he ends with 5 for 55 off 13. So most bowlers ending up at around 4 runs per over. Giorgio with an amazing stint of 19 overs, 2 for 73. A surprise declaration with 4 balls left. Not wanting to give Worthing a chance to get that 10th wicket, and they end on 245 for 9. As I mentioned, probably about par on a decent wicket and very fast outfield. Worthing would look, I'd say, probably 50-50 at this point. I think both teams would be happy to go in half-time. Ballamy and Clapp opening the batting. Mendes opening the bowling and puts away a short and wide one early on to take an early boundary. Seamer's not getting much reward on this surface. Spin seemed to play more of a part. And Clapp taking advantage of a full toss there to put it through the covers to make a bright start for Worthing. Ballamy always looking to be proactive. Getting on the back foot early. Again, really nice shot through the offside. So in this format, 47 overs to chase down the runs. You wouldn't have seen our away game at St James last week. But there is now draws in this format. As I mentioned, that an absolute snorter from Mendes just takes the inside edge and goes past the keeper for a lucky boundary. Before Haywards Heath overseas picks up Clapp. LBW. Who will be missing the next few games for us, which gives good opportunities to others at the top of the order. Dean would be pleased to see that shot. His first runs in 3 weeks as he gets past the frailties of 2 ducks in a row. And Ballamy continues to hit well off the seamers. Another clip off the legs for 4. As well as a strong pull shot to follow. Ballamy increasing the rate up nearly 5 runs per over in that first 10. Seamer's just straying in line really, and Ballamy really flicking and targeting that leg side early on. Flying along to a runnable 45 so far. And that is Ballamy's 50, again with his trademark flick off the legs. Takes him to an excellent and important 50 with to ensure that we sort of stay up with the rate. Pretty much just over 5 runs per over from the start. Worthing required, and that brought in the other Mendes to bowl. So Josiah coming on, and again straying in length, overpitched there twice in a row. Dean and Nick taking advantage. A strong start by Worthing at 80 for 1 before unfortunately losing Bellamy to a decent delivery, just going back and looking to force it on the offside, gets a small edge through to the keeper, and a runnable 60 was excellent, but unfortunately would have loved him to go on to get that big score. That brought me to the crease and got a nice streaky edge to get off the mark. Good little cherry at the bottom of the bat. Again, Mendes just straying in length and line, really, being clipped off the pads through mid-wicket for 4. Before, again, dropping short and a Worthing, typically quite slow tennis ball-y, being put away to the boundary. Streaky edge by Dino to an overpitched delivery. I think a common theme so far if they've been overpitched, allowing us to strike through the ball, keeping up with that 5 runs per over. Again, didn't seem to be working, so Wallace was brought on at the top end, bowling some leg spin, but again didn't really find his length, was a little bit short to start, and that allowed, again, 2 pull shots to go to the boundary in that over. 3 men on the fence though, but a big boundary at Worthing allowed those gaps to be found. Again, that one being forced through the offside, past extra cover to the boundary. Haywards Heath captain brought himself on at the far end and immediately was rewarded with a decent delivery, bowled, all ends up for 31. $128 for 3, pretty much halfway as well, just over the halfway mark. But with 7 wickets in hand, I think Worthing would have been looking to make sure that we could chase this down. So 100 to win, 19 overs to go. A decent shot down the ground by Miles. He is a very good golfer if he hasn't told you that or you haven't heard that before. That brings up the 150. So, under 100 to win. Smith started very brightly at this end though. But Dino going strong. Looking in much better touch after that 2020 where he got 60. Unfortunately, Gavin couldn't carry on his form with a decent 60 off 40 balls last week and 18 off 21. Just being caught at mid-wicket. Another foot or so would have been over him for 4. Dean goes through to his 50. Another full toss. Being sliced away backward a point for 4 runs. Again, looking to employ that sweep a little bit more often now. Deep square out in front, managed to get that away. This brought Martin Swift to the crease with a lovely straight drive down the ground, straight into the sight screen. Excellent start by Swift. Bottom edge takes us up to 200, as you can see, off 40 overs. So we've been at that 5 runs and over pretty much throughout the innings. With 7 overs to go, we're looking at 7 runs per over to get over the line. But a couple of wickets in a row really sort of put us back to square one, really. Harry Merritt Bland being caught on mid-off, looking to go over mid-off and hold out. An important wicket here as Regali gets run out. Coming back for a second from the long off. Skipper palms it onto the stumps. Good piece of work. Before losing an important wicket as Swift stumped for 31 as we were looking to chase down at this 240. Just 2 overs left. About 17 required, I believe, off these final 2 overs, but only with 2 wickets in hand. And unfortunately, we fell 4 runs short. It was 8 off 2, dot ball followed by 4 byes, pretty much finishing our innings. But an excellent game. Pick of the bowlers, obviously, for Haywards Heath were the 2 spinners. Callum Smith, 2 for 48 off his 12, but overseas Livingston bowling 20 and getting 5 for 75 was an excellent effort to restrict us from chasing down the total. Very even in terms of points. Haywards Heath score 14 while Worthing score 13, and we are away at Hastings for a very important game next week, again in the same format. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you again soon.